Hi, welcome to the Gamesplainer. I'm Jeff the Gamesplainer, and today I'm gamesplaining Istanbul The Dice Game. Istanbul The Dice Game is a 2 to 4 player game. It is based very loosely on Istanbul, which is a worker placement game, which I've done a video for a little while back. I might put a little link to that game at some point through this video, either now or at the end. I'll see what happens. So if you've played Istanbul, you'll get a similar feel, but it's not the same game. It uses a similar iconographic language. It uses similar ideas that you need to collect certain amounts of resource to be able to take rubies, and you're working towards getting 6 rubies or 5 rubies depending how many players there are at the table. But it stops there. It is a dice game. So you're rolling 5 dice. You have 2 actions. Out of your 5 dice, you choose combinations of those 5 to do your actions. So if you can roll 2 of the same color, you'll be able to get a chit, which is that colored resource. If you have 4 of a colored resource between the chits you've collected and the dice you've rolled, you're going to be able to collect a ruby. Once that ruby's collected, the next one up is going to cost 5. That's a similar mechanism to the original game of Istanbul. There's money that can be gained, and you can purchase rubies for a high amount of money, and once the first one's purchased, the next one's going to cost more. Or there's also the other spot where you can trade in one of each of the resource types plus another one to get the ruby, and then the next one's going to cost all 4 plus another 2. And so those resources can come from either the dice or the chits that you've collected. And on first play, if you have played the original game, on first play it doesn't quite make sense until you look at it and understand that those chits, if you read them as if they're a side of the die, it makes sense. Because otherwise you're trying to collect 4 chits to be able to trade the 4 cardboard resources for that color, rather than going, I've got dice that can help with that. So understanding that base mechanism is really important to this game. The other thing they've got is there's bonus tiles, which are called the mosque tiles, which you can elect to use the size of the dice or the chits, if you've got the right combination, to take one of those mosque tiles, and they give you ongoing benefits. So it might give you an extra die, so you're rolling 6 dice or 7 dice if you get 2 of them. It might give you an extra action, so you've got 3 actions rather than 2. Or it might give you some income at the beginning of each round. Things like that, they're actually really important. And there's a ruby that will be given to you or gained once you get 5 of those mosque tiles. I believe it's a different number in the 4-player game, but I'll talk about the 2-3-player game at the moment. So that's all the different ways you can collect your rubies. First to 6 rubies wins the game. If you watch the Gamesplay, I've played an entire game on the Gamesplay. It's very rare for me to do that. Usually I'll just stop after I feel like I've done everything. But once I felt like I'd done everything, I was so close to the end, I just figured, why not? The raw footage goes for 18 minutes. I'll see what it comes down to once I edit it down, but I imagine that will edit down to around about 12 minutes. For a 2-player game, to go through in under 15 minutes, that's really good. So if you want that feeling of collecting rubies and trading things and trading goods in an under 15-minute game for 2 players, go for it. The box says 20 to 40 minutes. I imagine it would go up to 40 with 4 players, but it runs super quickly. And it's fun. It's fun. It's a light game. It's not as meaty as Istanbul. I really love Istanbul. I love, love, love Istanbul. There's just a nice crunch to that game. This doesn't have that crunch. It's just throw the dice, do some actions, pass them on to the next person. But for a quick game, it's fun. I'd like to thank Advent Games for lending me this game from their library to be able to do a video for you. So if you're in Australia, please support Advent Games, adventgames.com.au. I'll put a link to them in the comments section at the bottom for you to follow if you're in Australia. Please support your local stores. Okay, I think that's probably all I really need to say about Istanbul The Dice Game. It's short, and so's this introduction, so's this review. Have a look at my Gamesplay and Gamesplains to see if you're going to like this game as well. And look, it's a good little addition to your collection, which can turn over fairly quickly if you're waiting for other players to arrive. So if you have any comments or suggestions, please write them below. If you have any games that you wish to be gamesplayed, please shoot me an email at thegamesplainer@gmail.com. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at thegamesplainer to see what games I've been playing. Subscribe to my videos to keep up to date with the games that I'm gamesplaining. And until next time, enjoy gaming.